Hi guys, welcome back to Max Boneyard Builds. Hold on. That dog, I'm telling you. Alright guys, welcome back to Max Boneyard Builds. So, now that we've got the LS cleaned up, what we're going to do now is, one, we're going to tackle the... let's start over. Alright guys, welcome back to Max Boneyard Builds. So now that we've got the LS cleaned up, what we're going to tackle next is we've got those couple broken exhaust manifold bolts that are in there. We're going to try and get those out of there. Well, first, we're going to try one that's exposed. We're going to try and get a vice grip on there, see if we can work it back and forth, just because the head of the bolt was already gone whenever we picked it up. The next one is broke off inside the head. So we're going to have to break out a little trick of the trade. I'll show you guys how to do that. I found this is the easiest way to get them out. And hopefully this helps one of you guys. If you guys are doing a header project or you're doing a project something like mine, you got yourself a broken exhaust manifold bolt, don't stress. You can get them out. Get your hands dirty. You can do it. Alright guys, our first stud that broke off is this one right here. The head of the bolt was already gone whenever we picked this motor up, but we're going to see if hopefully the threads and everything are still good. Hopefully just the head of that bolt popped off. So what you can do is you can get in your toolbox, get yourself a pair of vice grips, clamp onto that thing. You're going to start working it back and forth, nice and slow, just like you did the bolts, to see if hopefully it'll get freed up on its own. I can feel the vice grip slipping. Let me see if I got a pair of curved jaws in here. Oh man, you really want to get them on there, just to see if you can get that thing start to turn. Because if you can get it with a pair of vice grips, just working it back and forth, see if you can get it loosened up. You can see I've really got a clamp on it. This whole motor's shaking. But it's looking like it is not going to want to move on its own. And this is common, guys. These exhaust manifold bolts, I mean, they go through a lot of heat cycles, hot, cold, hot, cold. I mean, you're talking, this motor had, what, 180,000 miles on it? So it's common for these things to not be cooperative. Oh, I'll try and get a clamp on it, different angle. Keep working it. Back and forth, back and forth. See if it'll come out on its own. And it is not moving at all. So we're going to have to go to option 2. Option 2. Bring knee. Alright guys, so it really doesn't take much to get these babies off here. What you're going to do, remember on that couple first videos I told you, one thing you probably want to invest in, you want to invest in a welder. Little 110 welder. This thing costs a little over $100 or whatever it is. Well worth its weight in gold. I've used it all around the shop, and you're constantly going to run into stupid little things like this if you're going to be fabbing up, working on cars and stuff. So get yourself a welder. I'm telling you, this is the only way to fly. So what we're going to do is grab ourselves a pair of pliers. I thought I had a pair already burned up from the welder here somewhere. Yeah, there they are. There's a good chance you're going to burn up your pliers doing it this way too. So I've got a pair of needle nose pliers that are actually just like my welding pliers that I use just for instances like this. So what you're going to do, just get yourself a nut that'll fit over top of that bolt that's broken off, okay? I just like to grab it with a pair of pliers so that way it doesn't run away on me. Get it squared up. Once you get it tacked on there, you can take your pliers off. There, hit it with a tack, and then what you're going to do is run some weld around it so that way the heat from you putting that weld on there is going to transfer inside that bolt, get down in that head, and it's going to help break that up, okay? I'm telling you, get yourself a cheap welder. This one's like $160 or whatever they are now. I don't know. They're less than $200 for a 110 welder. Make sure and get yourself one, guys. If you're going to be doing stuff around the garage, you're going to run into instances like this all the time. And I'm telling you, they're worth their weight in gold. Alright, so now, since we've got that nut welded on there, while it's still warm, I'm going to try and grab myself a socket. Should have checked what size that was before I threw that on there. But anyways, now that that's warm, so now that that's warm, hopefully, once we get that socket on there, it will. Oh, nope. Alright, so this is what happened. That bolt actually spun loose, okay? We didn't get a good enough bite on there, so now it's actually spinning on top of that bolt again. Sometimes you're not going to get this on the first try, guys. So, now what we're going to do, luckily that bolt's still on there good enough. I want to try and throw some more weld around it and see if we can't get it a little hotter, see if we can't get it off. It's not a foolproof process, guys. You're going to have to keep working at it. But, like I always say, don't give up. Keep your hands dirty. Keep going after it. We'll get it. Of course, this is totally unscripted. It's not going to work on the first try. Sometimes it will. Makes your day a little easier. Most of the times, it won't. Hand slip. Trying to get a nice big booger on there. Get it nice and hot. See if we can't get that baby to spin. I got a big enough booger on there. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a socket back on there. While that's hot is when you want to kind of attack it. And the good thing is with this being an aluminum head, it's not going to, you're not going to weld to the aluminum, okay? So that's one of the big benefits of doing this. So if you're on like a short block Chevy or something like that with a steel head, make sure you be careful because you can actually weld to the head. And that's a whole nother problem. So, no, look at there. Broke free again. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to try and grind off this booger, get that on there, and we're just going to keep after it, guys. We'll get it after a few more tries. So I have ground this down some, try to get some of that booger off to where I can actually see that bolt again. So it's still spinning on there. Man, this one's really seized up on there. But we're going to keep trying. There's no movie magic here. I'm not going to play games with you and make you think this is just a simple walk in the park. Some of them are, and it takes 2 seconds. And you get others, like this one, and it does nothing but play games with you the whole time. So I'm not going to lie to you, tell you it's super simple, and not show you all the headaches like we're going through right now. Okay, take 3 or 4, whatever we're at. I'm trying to turn my heat up a little bit. I'm going to get it so hot I melt the nut. Alright, we got it on there pretty good this time. Let's see what happens. We'd like to thank you guys. Man, every time I turn around, getting more views, getting more comments, getting more likes and everything. I do appreciate it greatly. I do appreciate it greatly. I'm trying to use that same tactic we did with all the others. Trying to go right, left, right, left. Once you feel just a little bit of break, go back the other direction. And I think the bolt, or that nut, is spinning again. I may be wrong. Ooh, I think we might have got it, guys. Trying to go super easy on this so we don't break that weld again on that nut. Like I said, I'll show you all the mistakes and fails and whatever on this channel. Because I'm telling you, you'll watch some of the big name brand videos. You know, I'm not bashing guys by any means. With 1A Auto and different ones, their videos are great. They've helped me out on different things I didn't know how to get off. But, you know, they're very professional. You've got guys that are, you know, in a really nice garage and have done that exact same job, a strut change or whatever, 415,000 times, and you know, there's no mistakes and no broken bolts that they're having to fight with or anything like that. You know, this channel, we do it on the cheap. We try and figure out ways outside the box, and everything you try is not going to work the first time or the second time, but if you keep at it, don't give up, it will work third time. This is still hot, so I'm grabbing a pair of pliers. And now your threads are nice and clean. You don't have to reach. I mean, if you got to chase, I'd chase it, make sure it's nice and cleaned out and everything. But bam, just like that, guys. It took 3 tries. We had to keep going after it. And see, every time I was hitting it with that welder, I was putting more heat down in there. I think it finally broke it loose on the 3rd try. But now, it's done. Now we'll go over to the other side and get the other one out that broke off.
I'm glad I ran that in time lapse. That was ridiculous. To say the least, I used every nut that I had laying around my shop. That baby was buried. It was seized up more than the IRS taking your house. It was a mess. Anyways, this video was long enough. You guys get the idea. Keep after them. They will come out sooner or later. And there's other methods that you can check online where you chisel them and cut them and collapse them and drill them out and tap them out, and you know, there's a bunch of different methods. This is the one that I found works the best for me. I appreciate you guys for stopping by, and we are going to keep pressing on with the OBS project. See you next time. Max Boneyard Builds.